Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pond. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but minds keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I'm in big trouble today. The first words I hear from Greg Cote as he sits down are, I hate the smell of mayonnaise. He's got a giant jar in front of him. His penalty for the day is to have his hand in the jar of mayonnaise for the entire show. Is that what the grid of death penalty is? Is that what it is?
I think we can fudge that rule a little bit. I don't think it needs to be the entire show, does it?
You already did this.
Oh, great. So I don't have to do it
Do you
again.
not remember doing this?
I remember doing it a long time ago. I thought I lost the same
Hold
punishment
on
again.
a second. When did he do it, Billy?
He did it before we left the Clevelander. There was a scramble one day to get mayonnaise. We had to run down the street to get it, and he went and he put his hand in the mayonnaise.
It's
This
a new
has already
season.
been done.
I
Guys,
figured I lost again.
Billy,
guys.
but as Jeremy has said multiple times, we have recycled some good. This is a good punishment. It's
No,
funny.
I've done it. Let's lit it up.
We're reusing it. We're in reruns,
Lit
and
it up.
for some reason he chose it again.
You know what? I came in here today and I told Dan privately, I go, you know what? I think the grid of death is going great. I'm ruling with an iron fist. People paying off punishment at record rates here.
Yep.
I feel like what's happening here is that because of my management style, I'm treating everyone here like an adult. And in kind, everyone is doing what it is that they need to do without feeling this pressure, without feeling this burden, without feeling this, like, just bad vibes around the grid of death and the bucket of death. Things are going. Jeremy's a waiter today. I don't know why. I said, why are you a waiter today? He said, because it's a punishment. I go, did you make that up? He said, no, it's been on there. I go, perfect. I don't need to police you if you're going to police yourself. Things are going great. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I lost this weekend, and I'm not ashamed to say it, and I'm going to select the punishment right now. I'm going to have to learn a pit bull dance.
Wow.
That's what's going to be going
Nice.
on. I'm going to have to learn and perform a pit bull backup dance, and I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be completing that. So I think things are going great,
Billy?
except this was already done, so I don't know why you're doing this again.
Billy,
I do what I'm told.
When Chris Cote came in here, and it's one of the many reasons I'm in trouble today, because it's not just Greg Cote. It's Jeremy is a waiter today, and he's got to serve everyone's needs throughout the entirety of the show. Anything anyone needs.
Yeah, what can I get for you?
Oh, Jesus.
It's a
Pretty good,
character?
right?
Wow.
What is it?
Just workshopping stuff, guys.
Part of this.
A New Yorker?
What is that? What kind of
It's a
waiter?
waiter.
What kind of
I mean,
waiter is that? I don't understand.
Guys, you're making it feel like my fist is not made of iron right now.
All right.
What can I get for you?
I'm not
Pretty good, right?
I'm not sure
Not
I
bad.
like that
It's a
guy.
bartender.
I like
I
that.
feel like.
I don't like that guy, and what I like least about that guy is twice he's done it and then said, pretty good, huh? I don't, I really don't. I can make my own assessments without you forcing me into that.
Is this bartender / waiter, like, does that their accent, or are they like a struggling actor who's workshopping accents with the group to get a gig?
Well, you have just discovered a new layer to this character, Billy, and I'm excited to incorporate it into what it is we're doing today.
Iron fist.
Nice. Waiter, get me a BLT to go with all this mayonnaise, would you?
You got it.
Thank you.
Put your hand in the mayonnaise.
What?
Again?
Put your hand in the mayonnaise,
Wow.
please.
Bonus mayo.
And it's got to be there all show. Put some paper underneath the mayo because it's going to come out and make a mess, please.
I don't have any spare paper. This is essential paper here.
I'll get you some, Greg.
Thank
Hold
you.
on.
Here
Okay.
you go.
If only we had a waiter.
He's making a BLT.
The reason that Billy's...
God. It's just so awful. Oh, oh my God.
Yeah. 4 hours to go.
Oh, no.
That's what it was in my head. That's right. Right now, what is in my head is Dan. 4 hours to go. This is what you have to deal with. He's got it back in my day today. I'm stunned by that.
It's Tuesday.
But the reason Chris Cote is coming in here and saying we've got to ride this Billy energy, and the reason Billy is bouncing off the walls, just pinballing off the walls, I got the rarest of treats and treasures that I woke up to this morning. I did not watch the end of that Bills game, but I got the most elusive of things, a late night Billy Gill text. And that text is the stupid face of one Josh Allen. It is, that's how I knew what happened in the game last night.
Right.
And I know we can't do the show, Stugotz, if the Broncos have won 3 in a row. Let's talk about the positive parts of this.
They're in the mix, though, Dan. I mean,
I know we're not going to talk about how they go from allowing 70 points to beating the Bills at Buffalo after beating Patrick Mahomes. It's confusing, and we're not going to talk about the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson having a great season. He's playing well. That's been fixed. I don't know if the Broncos have been fixed, but the enduring echo of 70 points is such that they've got to do a lot more than win 3 games for people to feel like the Sean Payton, Russell Wilson thing's not a joke.
they're starting to feel better about it, though.
Are you saying the Broncos could be a good team and the Dolphins beat a good team?
I'm
That's what
saying the
hearing.
Broncos are 4-5. They've won 3 straight. Dan is right. Russell is back. He's playing himself back into the Hall of Fame. He played himself out of it for a year and a half. But the Broncos, like just about every team in the AFC with the exception of 2, they're in the mix. They are. I'll talk Bronco football all day.
Damn right. Sean Payton, Coach of the Year. Piling up points, piling up votes. Win by win. I need a quick ruling from Grid of Death Commissioner Gill.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I request to put the jar on its side.
What?
Because
It'll spill out.
I get what he's saying because it's like uncomfortable for him to go at that angle.
I've
Why
already
don't you
got-
raise your chair?
I've already got like a deadly crease on my wrist here.
It's your second time doing it.
deadly
so-
crease.
It's a deadly crease.
Yeah.
What do you think, Commish?
Well, raise your chair slightly. Is that okay?
I don't know how to raise my chair. I'm
Maybe
working
the
with-
waiter can do it for
I'm
you.
a one-handed
waiter.
man here.
Raise that chair.
Waiter, go get
Yeah,
some
you got
more
it.
toilet paper and raise the chair over here.
I think maybe we need a big bowl that's lower, and we just pour all of it into a bowl, and your hands.
You
go
know,
in the
that's a good
bowl.
idea
I
because
think maybe pull it closer to you, Greg.
this
so
is
you're
a
not-
razor sharp.
Put it on your
edge.
lap, maybe. Yeah. Is that bad for the
this
shot?
plastic?
Put
It
it on
is
your
a-
lap. Try putting it on your lap.
Put a little on your face.
That's actually better. The lap is better.
The crease goes away. The deadly crease goes
Yeah,
away.
but
a
I
little.
think we lose the shot. You want the televised payoff of he's got a
That's right
hand
on my
in
head.
mayonnaise.
How's that?
There you go.
The
Looks
scolding
great.
look
Good
he
shot.
Just gave
That's
to
good.
me, by
Leave
the
it
way.
like that.
Yeah.
Leave it like that.
Yeah, just put it on your head. That's fine. Stugotz, you said you could talk all day about the Denver Broncos. I don't believe you.
Go ahead.
I will sit here and stare at you, and we will not talk about the Denver Broncos because the storyline from last night is to be confused by the Buffalo Bills. Trayvon Diggs that's real on Twitter, where he's saying they need to get Stephon out of Buffalo. That's been a report for a while now that Stephon Diggs, he's denied it, but the Stephon Diggs doesn't want to be in Buffalo anymore. And the fall of that team has been precipitous, Stugotz, since 2018. No player in the league has more turnovers than Josh Allen. It turns out that Daboll didn't actually coach the reckless out of him. He's reckless, and they lose because he's reckless. And when he's perfect, they'll beat the Dolphins 48-20 at home. And when he's not, they'll be 5-5 and confuse everybody.
It wasn't just Josh Allen, though. I mean, the problem is the defense, half that defense, and you talk about this all the time. When we analyze games, just watching mayo being poured into a bowl here.
Thank you, waiter. I'd like to shake your hand. You're doing such a good job.
Visual.
It wasn't Dan. It wasn't just Josh though. Like there's lots of drops, and it seems to be a thing. And I'm interested in talking to Chris Sims this week on God Bless Football because he has been one saying Josh needs help. He doesn't have pieces. He doesn't have what he needs around him. And I think that what we may be starting to see, and I could be wrong, is maybe Josh. He's good. He's got great arm talent. He's incredible, right? However, it seems like he needs the pieces to go to the next step, and he's not going to be able to make the people around him better, I think is where we could be at. And I could be wrong in thinking that, but that's what it's starting to feel like because he goes, he makes passes, They don't get dropped. Then he misses wide open passes sometimes, and it seems like sometimes he gets flustered, and then he tries to make things happen, and then they don't happen, and things go from bad to worse.
But, Billy, Dan talks about this all the time. When we're analyzing the San Francisco 49ers, why do we not analyze the fact that Trent Williams hasn't been playing the last few weeks, and when he's back, he looks really good? With the Bills, half their defense is injured. Half the defense is injured. And Josh Allen, yes, he had a couple of interceptions last night. One was totally on Gabe Davis, who's good for one of those every couple of weeks. The other one was on James Cook. And then at the end of the game, they have the lead. It's not Josh Allen's fault that the coach has too many players on the field.
All fair. I want to tackle those one at a time. You mentioned Trent Williams. The best play from the weekend was Trent Williams. He's leading McCaffrey over the left side, and the Jacksonville defensive back turns around and runs away from him. Trent Williams said he had never seen that before. Instead of taking the collision, now he did make the play go out wide, but he literally turned his back to Trent Williams and kept running. That game last night is the first Stugotz since 2016, a Bengals game, where that situation happened. 30-plus penalty yards at the end of a game to cost you the game because the Bills had multiple penalties and seemed poorly coached, seemed undisciplined, and you can say that the turnovers might not have been a fault last night if you want, or the fault of somebody else, Stugotz. But since 2018, no human being playing professional football has turned the ball over more than this person. You cannot blame that on his teammates.
No, I understand. Well, some of them you can.
You can't blame that number.
Okay.
It's more than 70, Stugotz. It's more than 70. Many of those are Josh Allen's fault. He's reckless.
He's also top 5 in QBR this year, as bad as it's been. Dan, all I'm saying is every team with the exception of maybe 4 would trade their quarterback right now to get Josh Allen. He's a good quarterback. Is he great? I don't know, but he's really good.
They also needed, the Broncos needed a genuinely mind-bending catch from Courtland Sutton and the penalty at the end of the game to win. It wasn't like...
They tried to give it away.
Yeah.
All those missed extra points.
I mean, it is truly embarrassing for a coach to let their defense go out with the wrong number of players on the field.
After a timeout, I believe.
I can't imagine how it must feel to be a Buffalo Bills fan right now.
You mentioned the missed extra points. I believe a kicker this weekend, was it Cleveland's kicker? Missed an extra point and then made the game-winning field goal and said, I feel like an arsonist who went and put out the fire, and then everybody pats him on the back for putting out his own fire.
I like that analogy.
Because he missed the extra point, and then the field goal ends up winning it. The Bills are confounding, and Stugotz, to me, the interesting conversation around Josh Allen, because you say, I don't know if he's great, but he's good, is if in today's NFL there's a compensation for if you turn it over more than anyone else, you can't be great. There's no such thing. You're not allowed to be a great quarterback who turns the ball over more than everyone in a league where that's a deciding thing. It is a fatal flaw in examining anybody's greatness. I would agree with you, and I've been wrong. I've somehow been wrong multiple times on Josh Allen. Because I said he was terrible in a playoff game when he's throwing down the field to his fullback in double coverage, 50 yards down the field. His judgment was bad, his accuracy was bad, and he was reckless. I said he was terrible. He ends up becoming an MVP kind of good because that one season with Daboll, it looked like they fixed it. They didn't fix it. A bunch of cornerbacks dropped the ball. He had a bunch of interceptions that should have been interceptions that were just dropped. And he got lucky all season. And what's happened since is he now has this as part of his game. It's not something that's correctable. It's not, Stugotz, because the one season that he didn't turn the ball over is a season he should have turned the ball over.
Right.
That the metrics show you that he was largely lucky that he didn't turn it over double digits every time.
He could also be unlucky, right? Like that happened last night with Gabe Davis. I mean,
or you could make the argument that he threw that way too hard.
No.
It's like you got to have touch.
Right in his hands, man.
Dude, I'm just saying there's times when you can have touch. He threw that 100 miles per hour. That was like one of the hardest throws I've ever seen. It was right in his hands, but it's more than just decision making. It's touch.
Nobody's surprised what we're seeing out of Josh Allen, because coming out of college, he was always the high risk, high reward guy. You know, the bombardier who's not accurate. Inaccuracy was the rap against him, which is why he didn't get drafted higher. And now we're seeing that inaccuracy equals.
But Greg, we
turnovers.
thought it was fixed with Dable. We did. I mean,
Dayball got a job that we thought was going to transfer over to Daniel Jones because he could fix that thing.
Right.
There's no fixing that thing.
No, I agree. But you take what you get with him. There have been other quarterbacks who've been great, but also thrown a lot of interceptions. Brett Favre comes to mind.
But wait, Greg, it's a new NFL. We're not playing that way anymore. We're not no. You cannot have a quarterback, man. It offsets your greatness. Yes, I'd love to have Josh Allen as my quarterback, but the perfect quarterback is Josh Allen not turning the ball over.
Right.
it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
Yeah, or Josh Allen with Tua's accuracy. That's the ideal quarterback. Josh Allen's arm, his bravado, everything that makes him great or pretty great with the accuracy of a really accurate quarterback like Tua.
My point is because this team was 13 seconds from the Super Bowl. Okay? When healthy, the Bills were in Kansas City and had the game won because they can be unstoppable when that offense is working. But this Buffalo team is somehow 5-5 and has a brutal schedule coming up as well. It's not a team you can trust when you're losing to the Jets, when you're losing to Denver. Everyone's making fun of the Dolphins because they can't beat a winning team. Well, they're not losing to those teams.
Right.
They're not. They're
Bills can't beat a bad team.
The Bills.
Dolphins at least beat those.
We know the last two seasons that the Bills are good. But I'm actually interested in having the conversation with you guys because Garoppolo was a throwaway from winning a Super Bowl. Josh Allen was 13 seconds away from being in a Super Bowl. But I believe that I can say in today's NFL, it's not possible to be a great quarterback if you're worst in the league at giving the ball to the other team. Do I have that wrong?
No, you're right. And a team turning the ball over that much should be 5-5 at best. You're right. Josh Allen is nobody's MVP because of those turnovers. It's an epidemic. Now the problem is he has so much upside that he has a career like nobody's thinking of trading him or benching him or he can throw 20 interceptions a season and he's still going to be a starting quarterback because he's going to throw 33 touchdowns and be pretty great.
Danny boy, that's why when people are coming up to me at the bar, they're asking, hey, who would you rather have, Joshy or Tua?
You're a waiter.
This isn't working.
I didn't like it as a limited waiter. I certainly don't like a long exposition.
Got an audition for
waiter.
Guys and Dolls coming up.
Danny, I mean, a little too comfortable with your customers.
I know we mentioned the 12 man on that last play, but that has to be on McDermott.
It
hot
is.
seat question mark. That has to be the conversation.
That's
today.
what the people are asking.
Hot seat. We're ready for hot seat talk.
We're ready. Bills fans have already been
underachieving.
No.
What team is underachieving more this year?
With the Bills is a serious question of did their current Super Bowl window close? Like, that's not to say that Josh Allen is not going to go on and win Super Bowls later in his career, but it's kind of like with this current version of the Bills, did they just miss that window and now they got to kind of catch up when everybody – because there's new windows now. The Dolphins are like in their tiny window if you believe that they're actually a serious contender, which some people don't because they haven't beat good teams yet. The Chiefs are always in the Super Bowl window, it seems. Like they're always going to be there. Burrow? Did that window close? What's going on with
That window is not closed.
You're not allowed
no,
to close
no.
that window.
No, the current window.
The Burrow window is still wide open.
Windows shut and open.
Yeah,
all the time.
that's exactly. Greg gets it.
Yeah,
Windows aren't
thank you.
one-time use.
You have
can
the
open
Burrow
and
window
close
being
windows.
closed, Greg?
It's banging shut, baby.
This
Banging it.
present window may be shut, but you know what happens when you close one window?
Another one opens.
Another one opens.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but
That's why they call it window pane. They call it window pane because you think your window's open, and then your nose is banging up against it because the window's shut when you weren't looking. That's the problem with windows.
Greg's right.
Greg's using a bagel to rest.
I am. I invented that.
The mayonnaise.
Yeah, I invented that.
Yeah, it's currently bent in half.
I know. It's still good, though, if you want to toast it.
I just want to be clear, because so many of you are just so in love with the sound of your own voice. Have you all agreed that the Burrow window is closed? Is that something that just happened?
That's just my dad saying that.
I have not.
window,
I have
maybe.
not,
But was
no.
it just because he was talking and loving the sound of his own voice and he wasn't listening to what he's saying? You're saying the Burrow window is closed.
No,
Do you know who Joe Burrow is?
Billy
guys
and Greg
don't-
are toxic together.
You don't get windows. Like, Josh, this is not. Let's say that the Bills' Super Bowl window has closed. That's not to say that he can't win one down the road. It's to
Right.
say this particular version of the Bills may just not be good enough to get back into contention to win a Super Bowl. And they
Correct.
may need to move Stephon Diggs and bring in different pieces so that he can win the Super Bowl. But this version isn't working.
Right.
It could reopen. Dan.
Yeah, Burrow, Cincinnati got off to a rough start. They've been better lately, but they're not a Super Bowl team right now. The window is cracked open. Burrow is capable of putting his
Greg,
fingers
I believe,
under
Greg.
over the sill and lifting the window, but he's got to show me that he can do that.
Greg, he doesn't have to show you.
He's got to show me.
That's why they call it window pane.
Right. Thank you.
Greg,
It's the show me state.
what is?
It is.
Burrow having to show me
Right.
that he can still win a Super Bowl.
What is the show me state?
Well, it's Missouri, but right now the show me state is the state of Joe Burrow is he needs to show me that he is in a state of mind where he
Right.
can win a Super Bowl.
Different kind of state.
Hadn't done it.
Right.
This is worse than the Steph Curry backpack
Not
tape.
an actual
Hadn't done
state.
it.
Yep.
No, he hasn't done it.
Greg, you're going to be surprised if Joe Burrow finds himself playing in the Super Bowl this year?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I will be.
Come on.
But not the Dolphins.
No, Dolphins are more likely Super Bowl team than Cincinnati and Buffalo.
The Dolphins
Sure.
are 6-3, and the
100%.
Bengals are 5-4.
It
The
doesn't matter.
Dolphins got drubbed by Buffalo.
Yeah, they did.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Look, I'm all in on the Dolphins and have been since the beginning.
Last year, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're 6-3, that's a good record to be when you have 5 winnable games in a row. They're going to be 11-3 before the Cowboys come here on Christmas Eve.
What do you mean?
Why would you assume a month of winning in that league, like against anybody? Why would anyone assume a month? Did you just see what happened to San Francisco?
Yeah.
In that league, you cannot look at a schedule and just say, they'll win for the next 5 weeks. And I know it's an easy schedule, Stugotz, but if they lost to the Jets in there, you would not be surprised if they lost a game to the Jets.
I would not be surprised. You're right. But I can't see them being like 11-3, 10-4 headed into those last 3 games.
That's fine, but how often do we get that one right? Honestly, we can't predict that league, and it is an unusually dumb thing to try and say anyone's going to win 5 straight games in that league.
But you just pointed out Buffalo's difficult schedules, and it is. You're right about that. Buffalo can win those games,
But my point is they're already 5-5, and they've got difficult games coming up with no margin for error. What I'm saying of the Dolphins is what I would say of any team in the league, practically, that you just can't look at a schedule and assume for a second in that sport. Look at what happened last night. Who had that last night? Other than Chris Long in a 3-team parlay on the money line with Russell Wilson throwing more than 1.5 touchdown passes. That had to pay plus 2,000, that bet.
Stugotz had it. 7-3 this
It
week.
was undoubtedly a great bye week for the Dolphins. Every single team that they needed to lose lost. Some are saying it's the best bye week in sports history
were
that the
saying
Dolphins
that.
just experienced.
It was a great bye week.
The Chiefs didn't win. The Jags lost.
Right.
The Ravens lost.
Everyone
The
in the
Bills
division
Bills
lost.
lost.
Everyone
The
in
Patriots.
division
The
lost.
Jets. It could not have gone better.
Everybody at the bar is agreeing with you, Chrissy.
No, not Jessica. She's got a team in the mix.
Yep.
Steelers won.
No one's afraid of the Steelers,
Somehow.
though.
They
Same
should
record
be.
as the Dolphins, though.
I know.
Steelers.
And they
Been
have beaten a
outgained.
team with a winning record.
Outgained in
Crazy.
every game.
So,
6-3.
Yep. Football.
They're like that fantasy team
Beat
that's
the-
like
beat
4
the
that has like
Ravens, give me a call.
the Steelers are that fantasy team in your league that has the lowest points scored, but they're still somehow a winning record. It's like, this is infuriating. They shouldn't be good. They don't have a quarterback.
Beat a team above
They're-
500.
Your quarterback
and give
wears
me
a glove.
A giant helmet.
I hate that. I hate when a quarterback wears a glove.
You mentioned San Francisco as an example of how unpredictable the league is. Their 3-game losing streak was a very explainable anomaly. You mentioned Trent Williams. More than that,
This is a new and unimproved
Deebo
Dan Le Batard
Samuel.
Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Damian Lillard is shooting 27% from three. It's a career worst.
Wow.
He's shooting 37% overall everywhere on the field, from the field, and their defensive efficiencies have gone into the tank. And people are asking after 8 games, is it that he's unhappy to be there? Is it that he's not trying? And I think you have to give these things, all of these things, time. I think change, hell, this show is proof of that. You keep changing things in the environment, you're going to create a great deal of unrest. And what we thought would work perfectly in Milwaukee has disassembled a championship defense and asked Lillard and Antetokounmpo to figure it out. But Lillard's been terrible. Like, he's been objectively terrible. There are very few shooting percentages from three. Like, that shooting percentage from three. Damian Lillard is one of the greatest shooters in the history of the sport. I know it's an 8-game sample. But to shoot 27% from three makes you the worst three-point shooter in the history of the league as someone who shoots by volume. Westbrook and Dwayne Wade were better than that from three. That's truly terrible, and it's hard to understand because open shots are open shots, and I don't know why Damian Lillard, through just 8 games, is missing so many of them.
It's time for Jimmy to start flirting again. I think a little passive-aggressive stuff on social media, start liking some Dame posts. Let's get this news story going again.
And your package is Jamal Cain and Nikola Jovic, and you'll take it.
Jeremy has been taking a big victory lap on Portland. On how you've seen how these guys are looking for Portland. They could have had Jaime. They could have had Duncan, who's looking good for us. Tyler's looking good for us. It's early in the season. The package that they could have got from us have been playing better than what they got, Portland.
Lillard was 3 of 17 last night. He's 40% basically for his career from three-point range. So it's a bit suspicious. Oh, waiter, by the way, I need a computer charger.
You got it, Stu.
But Dan, here is the thing with the Milwaukee Bucks and Damian Lillard. I don't care if he's unhappy or not. You have been in Portland your entire career. You have played in a handful of important games while in Portland. Now you're in Milwaukee. You're teamed up with one of the best players we've ever seen in Giannis and Chris Middleton. I don't care if you're unhappy. Like, if you're not going to be happy playing next to Giannis, when are you going to be happy? Seriously, as a basketball player, how can you get happier than that?
No one said he's unhappy.
Oh, I mean, people are speculating, Billy.
Well, I did just mention that people are wondering that the numbers are so off. They are wondering if it's an effort thing, if his mood can be affected or shot can be affected by his mood. But I'm holding up in front of me something I had not seen before. It is Stugotz's car key with a keychain.
Yep.
Is this reminding you to be happy? It says be happy on it. Is it because you need the reminder?
It's Rachel's keychain. It's a reminder to her to be happy. That's it. That's all.
If we're talking about his happiness, there have been reports about personal stuff going on with him and his marriage. So
there you go.
We don't. Well, it's too late. We already went down.
I mean, they're reported stuff. It's reported stuff.
Being reported.
Reported stuff. Yes, it is reported stuff. And that's change, all kinds of emotional, energetic change that kind of change, I believe, that's a high school sweetheart, I believe, a long-time marriage. And then you're now in a new city, and all of a sudden the pressure of that with your beloved son where you were, and now you have championship expectations in a way that you haven't. It can be a mind bleep.
In Milwaukee.
Give the guy an adjustment period. 8 games, we should not be judging 27% after 8 games. I would liken that to you have a 300 hitter in baseball who's hitting 179 2 weeks into the season. You don't worry about it.
Juan Soto.
You assume he's going to come back to his mean, his norm.
The defense, though, I don't know if there's an answer for that.
There are only 2 ways that we would be talking about this. And one would be if they look like the Celtics or Sixers now with Lillard going crazy, or this. I'm not saying you should worry about it. I'm not disputing that it's a small sample. I'm saying that this is exactly the way you don't want to start. If you are him, and there are any number of ways to start, abysmally like this, terrible where everyone's noticing it, and Milwaukee is looking like they don't know what they're doing, it doesn't help any. Damian Lillard's comfort that that's what he's playing in.
But we're a month into this experiment. Like this
We're
is
8
like
games in,
This
Billy.
this is like back in Heat Big 3 era when you're like you lose the first game and like you need to tear the whole thing up. This clearly isn't going to work. It's like give it some time. Like the Bucks will be just fine. Don't worry about them. And like also, is this who we're going to be like as a fan base and a show where we're just rooting against Damian Lillard
Yes.
now? Damian Lillard didn't do anything to this fan base.
Look,
why do you want him to fail?
Get your perspective out of here. When he gets back to when he goes back to the middle, we can talk about it. But
No,
for right
we'll
now,
ignore it
I don't
then.
like
We'll
this.
ignore it
But
for
now he's terrible, and we need to celebrate this because we're Heat fans, and this is all we have at this point. We didn't get Dame. We're hurt, and we want him to be bad to start the season, and he is. So this is good.
You should just take the E out of heaters and just make it haters because that's what it
Well,
is.
it'd
That's
be
what
hat.
the
This is
beginning-
all sports. This is not just Heat fans. Any team who went through what the Heat went through this offseason with Dame flirting with us, demanding to be here, we don't get him. Any fan base would be rooting against him at this point.
No, you can't blame Lillard. Wanted to
I'm not
come
even
here.
blaming him.
It's
I'm
not
just-
his fault
I'm
that
just-
they didn't trade him here.
I'm just celebrating that he's not been great.
No, it is his fault. He didn't want it badly enough. I mean, make a stink of it.
That's
Seriously.
interesting.
Yeah.
He sure seemed to make a stink.
He made the biggest stink that anyone's made.
Is it not the Heat's fault?
Never.
Yes.
Never.
It's more the Heat's fault
Look,
than Lillard's fault
But
that he isn't here.
I'm stuck with the Heat at this point,
I'm,
okay?
I'm stuck with a room of Ryan Cortez's right now.
I mean, you shut everybody up with that. You shut everybody up with, isn't it the Heat's fault? Yes, and Heat fans are mad that what they're mad at is in the mirror, but they can't spit on the mirror.
Lashing out.
They offered the better package.
It's obvious.
We just proved that point.
They offered the better package than
Portland got petty.
Yeah, and decided not to trade Dame where he wanted to be. And
The
he wanted to
league
be
hates
here.
the Heat.
No. It's not anything like that. Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, multiple first-round picks, Tyler Hero is a very good package.
Where'd
It's
the
been made
character
obvious.
go? Where did the character go? Where did
Character
the-
doesn't like the
Bad
Heat.
waiter.
He's a Knicks fan.
I tell you, he's a bad waiter. I asked for a computer charger. He brought I asked for a Coke. He brought me a Diet Coke.
He had to send it back. It was undercooked.
Very opinionated waiter, I'll tell you.
Just going back for a second, when that trade was made, I told you that the Miami Heat said when the package was complete that Portland had gotten better pieces from the entirety of the package than Miami had offered. However, that presumed health. That presumed Robert Williams being something close to Robert Williams. He just had knee surgery that ends his season, and Stugotz, that knee surgery comes because they played him in the playoffs against the Miami Heat to not get past the Miami Heat. They lost. They ruined Robert Williams' career playing him in the playoffs. And so you thought you were getting Time Lord, but you got a guy with bad knees who now is out for the rest of the season, and you don't know what you're going to get from him at all. The remainder of his career, if he'll be the same, you do not know.
I'm so sick of hearing about this package, by the way. You guys have been talking about this package for months. All I hear is this package, that package. You will not stop talking about your package, and I cannot take it anymore. Enough with the package talk.
Fair enough. Let's talk about jeans instead.
Oh, boy.
I'm done with jeans.
What?
I mean, they were talking before the show about the difference, like skinny jeans, tight jeans. It's like whatever happened to just jeans being jeans. I am turning into my dad.
I still refer to them as blue jeans. I'm like the only guy on earth still calling them blue jeans. Even if they're black, they're blue jeans. Trust me.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, Juju. Even if they're black, are they still blue jeans?
Correct.
Why did this come up? Why is it that everyone was so fired up about jeans today?
Well, it's just because there's so many different variations. This is my frustrations. I don't know why everyone else is frustrated. Just like flex fit and tight and boot, like around the boot. Give me a jean. All right,
Right.
I'll try it on, and that's it.
Jeans are cheating now, especially with the waist size, because if you're like a 36, 37 like I am, you could still fit into a 34.
37.
You stretch them out. Like, listen, when I was growing up, you had to earn a 34 waist. You had to earn a 33, a 35, a 36. Now you can be as fat as you want and fit into 34s. I'm telling you, the adjustable waist size has ruined jeans.
Correct.
It's ruined fitness. I mean, I'm telling you.
It came up, Dan, because before the show, I revealed to some people that what happened is that this past Friday I had to go jean shopping for a Christmas card photo shoot that is upcoming. And my wife waited until we got to the store to reveal to me that she does not like the way that I dress and she doesn't like my jeans.
Oh, boy.
So, like, this was like a very polite, like, hey, let's go get new jeans so we're all matching. And I was doing it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like how these fit. And she goes, your current jeans fit terribly. Like, they look bad. That's not the style anymore. You need new jeans, which I was taken aback, as you might know, because I feel like our marriage has been a lie up until this point, because this is how it was revealed to me. So I was trying on hyper stretch jeans, which are incredible. And then me and Jeremy were talking about it. And hyper stretch jeans are essentially jeggings is what I'm wearing now. Like, it's not denim anymore. It seems like denim's gone by the wayside. And not just that, I also feel like, and it could be a product of fashion, the way fashion is going, or I'm getting shorter, because I used to be like a 34 length, and I was flirting with a 30 length now. Because you don't want them to bunch up there at the bottom there, the jeans. That's the style now. So I don't know what's going on with
You showing
jeans.
a little ankle?
No, I didn't like it. I had to go back to the 32, but either way, I've lost 2 inches.
I think that during COVID, the athleisure takeover in like, people wearing their sweats to work, and then when people went back to the office, they were like, we don't want to put our hard pants back on. We want to keep wearing stretchy pants. We want the illusion of wearing hard pants. So now everything's stretchy. And I'm with you, Billy. Jeans have had a major stylistic change for men and women over the last 5 years. We went from skinny jeans to high-waist jeans. Now we're back to flare jeans and low-rise.
Ridiculous.
I bought low-rise flare jeans the other day. I don't know who I am anymore. They're disgusting. I'm getting rid of them. I hate them. But I can't even imagine what it's like to be a man when traditionally you shop
It's
less
the worst.
and pay less attention to style. At least Billy does. And having to go
What?
through this
Wait,
jean
now
renaissance.
everyone's coming after my style.
What's the average age of your jeans?
My jeans can vote.
There you go.
You can't drink, though. It's weird.
Jeans have stopped being jeans.
Thank
jeans
you.
are not supposed to be comfortable.
I don't like my ally.
Bring back the dungarees.
That's what I'm saying.
Bring back bib overalls. I mean, jeans. Come on. They're not
Those are
supposed
back.
to fit well. They're not supposed to be comfortable. They're supposed to be a little bit baggy and feel like sandpaper. That's what jeans are supposed to be. Blue jeans.
He's right. I mean,
Under the best of circumstances, the Greg Cote Tuesday is just a generally messy experience. But he underestimates, as he did last time, even though he doesn't remember. The last time he had his hand in what's supposed to be, by the way, a jar of mayonnaise. Old Iron Fist back there is letting this slide. This is not the same punishment as a jar of mayonnaise, but
he did the jar already, though.
This is just for funsies. I don't know why he's doing this.
Bonus.
he's having trouble not being able to use the second hand. It makes his headset something that's sliding on and off, and he cannot fix it without getting mayonnaise all over himself, and he doesn't like the smell of mayonnaise.
I have a question for Stugotz. Were you the one who did the mayonnaise hand thing previously?
I think I was, yeah.
So Greg has never done this punishment.
I feel
Do
like
I-
my dad has too.
Do I just have fried minds around me? Like, you would think that somebody would remember if they had their hands
You
in
know
the-
that there's people in the audience that remember it vividly, but we literally are blacked out every time we leave the studio.
I've had my hand in the dirt. I've had my
Maybe
hand
that's
in the dirt.
what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there was a hand in mayo before. I think what happened was Greg selected it, and then Stugotz paid it off for some reason. And we're like,
could be.
You're not doing this for any reason.
Yeah.
Listen, my job's not to remember; it's to rule with an iron fist, and I think we can all agree things are back on track here.
We're debating, Jess and I, what like 3 hours straight with your hand in mayonnaise will, I don't know why I said mayonnaise weird there, will do to your skin. She actually thinks it could be a positive thing.
It seems like it would moisturize it some.
Yeah, I do too.
Really?
That's a
Oil.
benefit.
Oil
I
and
should.
egg.
Yeah, I should bathe in mayonnaise because my entire skin needs this kind of thing. It's like hand lotion.
It's really disgusting. It is not like hand
Dad,
lotion.
get it away from
Please
the
get it away
equipment.
from the
I wonder if it
equipment, Greg.
I'm waiting for it to drip.
Greg, please.
You're out of the
Okay,
mayo right now,
just-
so that's
just
a
keep
Can the
it
punishment.
away
camera
from
zoom in on the
equipment.
bagel rest, the bagel armrest?
Yes,
It's-
he's got a
it's quite
bagel
sight.
cushioning his
Yeah,
arm
patent
because
pending.
this punishment is so
Patent pending.
hard for him that he had to move it from a jar. Like it really is. We're catering to him. By the end of this, he will be getting a manicure with the mayonnaise.
That'd be great.
And it won't be
you.
a punishment.
A mayo cure.
It'll be a reward of some sort. Let's play for the audience based on that jeans conversation. Pablo Torre Finds Out is 3 times a week. It's exceptional. Every episode is excellent. And he talked to Action Bronson last week, who said that jeans are not in his life, and neither are pants. He hasn't worn pants in a really long time.
When was the last time you wore pants?
Probably 15 to 20 years. The last time I put pants on, I had an accident, and I never wore them again.
What happened?
Just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. It can't be discussed. It can't be discussed. But what I will say that they were never to be touched on my skin again.
Every time I've ever seen you, you're wearing
It's
shorts.
And they're stretchy so I could squat, so I could work out. I'm not around with stiff shorts. You understand? I'm over here flexible.
Seems really high.
Which one?
Fair.
There are people all over Florida who have not worn pants in a decade for any reason. I wouldn't say it's the majority, but where would you put the number? Because I think there is a 5% population in Florida that is simply either doesn't own pants or will simply never wear them. If I could get away with it, I would. I would try to live that way.
Since when aren't shorts pants? Like
They're shorts.
when he says I haven't worn pants in 15 or 20 years,
You've
I'm
got him
picturing-
just in underwear all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a pair of pants right now. They just happen to be shorts.
Yeah, but shorts aren't pants.
Yeah, they
Pants-
are.
Pants are long.
I'm on it.
No, I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree?
you
Pants.
look it up.
I'm okay, we're going to look it up, but I thought that
Good move.
pants always extended beyond the knee.
No.
Are we doing like all shorts are pants, but not all pants are shorts right now?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Well said.
I'm seeing a definition that says an outer garment extending from the waist to the ankle and covering each leg separately.
That's hard to believe.
I'm seeing the definition of shorts as short pants that reach only to the thighs or
Short
knees.
pants.
You told
is the
them to
key
look it
phrase
up.
There.
That's from
Short
Merriam-Webster.
pants.
Merriam-Webster?
What does he know, or she?
Right.
The phrase is short pants, right?
You're going to stay entrenched on this one.
Yeah.
You may be right, is usually what he says.
Well, don't tell me you haven't worn pants in 15 years when you're wearing pants while you say that. That
But
guy.
you asked somebody to look it up, and they did, and you're disputing what it is they looked up.
Yeah, but then waiter Jeremy testified that the phrase is short
No,
pants.
no, but no.
Anything for you, baby.
Thank you. I'm a big tipper, so keep it up.
You're not a big tipper.
I am a big tipper. The Big Dipper is a big tipper, I'll tell you that.
He's
20. We start at 20% around here and then work our way up. Are you kidding me? The waiters see me coming into the restaurant. They're like fighting each other to get over to my table. I want that guy.
that couldn't be
He's a big
further
tipper.
from the
It's
truth.
just he's lying. Like
Do people refer to him as the Big Dipper and we
No,
just don't
some
know
do.
that?
I find that hard to
It
believe.
just rhymed with tipper, and he thought that was great content.
Yeah, that's big content.
It was, but he definitely works his way down, right, Dan? Like he's looking for
Oh,
for chinks in
Stugotz.
the armor.
He literally puts like $20 in singles on the table, and then every mistake takes one, puts it in the pocket.
If it's a big mistake, yeah, I do. Damn right. I pay for good service. I don't pay extra for bad service. I diminish for bad service.
You don't pay that much extra for good service.
Oh, I do.
Dad, I have to watch you when I'm out to lunch with you. I have to check what you're tipping.
Please call your mother. I'd like to talk to your mother about his wife.
No, I'm a big tipper.
Okay, well, we'll ask your wife.
Well, you know.
Will you be okay with her ruling on this?
Well, she's going to demean me. She's going to play along. If she gets the show, she's going to intentionally say 15% when I haven't left a 15% tip in 15 years like that guy now wearing pants.
Did you run out of breath there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Happens.
It does happen. Thank you. If it happens permanently, then I'm in trouble.
Who's the guy? Take a guess. And who's the guy who's not wearing pants?
You know, they said Action Bronson or something, and I thought it was that actor, Pierce Brosnan. That's who I thought they meant. Who's Action Bronson? Is he a wrestler? Who is that guy?
Pierce Bronson.
Just hold on.
007.
I want to cover this for a second because I thought for sure he'd think that Action Bronson was the action star Charles Bronson.
Okay, that would make sense too.
No, but that's
your wheelhouse.
But Bronson, not Brosnan.
Well, I thought Pablo mispronounced the name of his guest. That's what I assumed.
Wait a minute. So you think you're so right all the time that Merriam-Webster is wrong and that Pablo is wrong? You think you're so consistently right that when you do the thing wrong, you think everyone else is wrong and that you still have it right?
No, I admit I'm wrong with the best of them.
You are the worst.
Not true at all.
I find that hard to believe.
Don't try to tell me I'm not wearing pants right now. That's all I'm saying.
If you could hear me, just understand I'm sorry.
We will try and get Erlene Cote on to see what she would say, whether you're good at admitting you're wrong.
How about whether I'm a good tipper?
One of the worst I've ever seen.
Ask her, is the Big Dipper a big tipper? And then see what she says.
I love it.
Why would your nickname be the Big Dipper?
Why not?
You don't want to know, baby. Baby, that kind of thing. No, I'm just kidding. That's not my nickname. But Big Tipper could be my nickname. It could be. In fact, let's make that my nickname. Hey, Big Tipper.
It's a great nickname.
It is. BT for short.
It comes with expectations.
Yeah, well, I love a nickname with a nickname. Right. BT.
Mm-hmm.
Every Tuesday, the visual snapshot I will give the audience that is my haunting is when that happens and what I see behind either Chris Cote or Mike Ryan's head strategically, trying to hide from me unsuccessfully, is the sinking, laughing Billy Gill, who
Me?
You get smaller, you get physically smaller because you're so delighted, but you also know that it's totally off the rails and it's making even you uncomfortable.
I don't like the role I've had to play today, where I'm having to give serious Josh Allen analysis because they're arguing over mayo, and you're clearly getting bothered.
I'm only clearly getting bothered here.
Stop caressing the mayo.
Because Chris Cote's father has descended into just telling giant lies, and I already got one of those.
Hey.
I don't need a second one. They're just giant lies. Like, he's not paying attention to any of the things that he's saying that are coming out of his mouth, and they're the opposite of what is actually true.
I heard another giant lie, which apparently Greg said that if Miami beats Louisville, the season was a success.
Oh, my
Yes.
God.
That's
Correct.
great.
Yeah, if Miami, assuming they win out and finish 8-4, juxtaposed against 5-7 with wins over Clemson, with wins over number 8. I think they're 8
Texas
or 9 now.
A&M.
Louisville. Texas A&M. Progress, good recruiting. You could make an argument that if they beat Louisville, they still have a chance to call this a successful season. I believe it.
But if they lose the next 2 games, Mario didn't want to be in a bowl game anyway. Is that...
If they lose the next 2 games, nobody is going to call it a successful season, including Mario.
I can think of one person who might.
Jessica, you're being very gentle with Cote because you came in here before he was here scoffing, and you revoked his columnist license.
Well, I'm sick of Miami fans moving the goalpost for what is a successful season. I agree. Beating Louisville would be great. It's going to be very hard to do given the quarterback injury last weekend, I think. But you can't be like, oh yeah, now 7-5. That's what we wanted all along. That's success. We knocked off Louisville.
Well, first of all, if they win out, they're going to be 8-4, right?
Greg, that
They
can't
would be
be
8-4.
Greg,
They're gonna be
yes,
8-4.
we'll look it up.
If they
We'll
win
look it
out.
up.
Right.
Greg, you wrote a column about this. She wants to revoke your license as a columnist writer, and now you're asking the question after having written the column that if they beat Louisville, and now you're asking us what their record would be.
Let's make this clear. I did not write a column about that. I put it in my show topics. It's one sentence. I did not write a column on that. Column worthy. I might write a column on that, but I haven't yet.
Thank you for the distinction.
They were 5-7 last year. If they go 8-4 with a great recruiting class on the horizon,
You're reaching.
They would be 8-4, Greg, but that can't be the standard at the University of
I
Miami.
also don't think
It just
you can
can't
write
be.
off the Boston College game.
Yeah, I
as
was
like,
gonna say.
we're definitely going to win this.
Yeah,
one
what happens if
either.
they beat Louisville but they lose to Boston College? Then there's confusion.
Yeah, what happens?
What any Canes fan should be looking for is progress. They're not going to go from 5-7 to 11-1 in the college football playoff. You want progress. That's why Texas A&M is paying huge money to get rid of Jimbo Fisher. Why? Because they're stuck in neutral, I think was the phrase they used. Miami is not stuck in neutral. If they go from 5-7 to 8-4 with a great recruiting class incoming, that's not neutral. That's progress.
What if it's 6-6 though?
Obviously, you're less pleased by that. I'm not pleased by that.
Still progress, though, technically.
Well, it's not enough progress. 8-4 to me is enough progress after last season. You know, you take away the nightmare of Georgia Tech, which is inexcusable the way that game ended, and there has been palpable progress this year. I'm not being a homer for UM. That's what I believe.